Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. From above, you can easily notice what looks like multiple massive drainages in the desert here. The drainages connect to what once was a massive inland body of water. This is an area that gets very little precipitation currently. What you see is terrain left over from a time period thousands of years ago when the climate was cooler and water obviously more abundant. What's also unique about this area is it is a place where obsidian is also abundant. Obsidian was valued as a material for tool making, and this spot would have been utilized for both resources, the water and obsidian. Eventually, when the water dries up and the ancient lake cultures move on, other cultures would eventually take their place in the area, taking advantage of the readily available obsidian. So this one area could possibly produce artifacts that date from a couple hundred years ago to thousands of years ago. Fascinating. So join me as I head out into the desert to discover what once was.
Buenos dias. It is a beautiful, almost fall morning out here in the higher desert. I'm back in an area that I've been exploring for a few videos now, and my last trip I kind of cruised through this area. I'm at what used to be the bottom of a body of water, I believe. I think this area was excuse me, kind of like a finger lake from a larger body of water. And all this elevation rising, the hills here, from my searching thus far, miles back up to this area, all these high points, they're covered in lithic material. So I haven't searched these areas, these high points here, and I want to go have a look today, see if we come across anything, see if there's more obsidian lithics all through the area. There should be, I presume anyway. And I'm also going to search this bottom, what would have been the bottom of the body of water as well. Excuse me. So it's going to be an interesting day. Cooled off, been getting some rain out here, which is good because that, as I explain in a lot of the videos, due to the type of terrain out here, the high desert, it looks like there's a lot of vegetation, but the ground is still pretty loose, so things come to the surface a lot easier than, say, the eastern woodlands, like east of the Rockies. The high desert here is like, it's just, there's not as much vegetation, so the land changes a lot more frequently, and high winds, heavy rain, anything like this is going to completely change the terrain here, and it's going to expose artifacts. Especially in the hilltops here that are going to have more exposure to the elements. Anyway, hope that all made sense. So that being said, let's get to it. Let's get looking. Got a good day out here. I think the high today is supposed to be maybe 88 or something like that, which is so nice. It's been triple digits for so long now that I'm really looking forward to some cooler weather. Anyway, let me get it all set up, and hands are actually a little chilly. We'll get to looking. Got to keep an eye out this morning. Got a pack of coyotes out in the distance. They'll attack Phoenix. They haven't. We've had issues before. So well, I've been walking the flat part here, which would have been lake bottom, and I'm still just seeing plenty of lithic material. I'm going to start making my way up to get on the higher points here, and I'm presuming I'm going to find stuff up on the top there, lithic debris, debitage. I keep my expectations pretty low, so finding something spectacular is actually quite rare. At best, I could find broken or discarded points, preforms, things of that nature. But finding an intact piece is exceedingly rare. However, if I do come across something that can be identified, then it would give me an idea of possibly the time period I'm looking at. I could be wrong, but there were people in this area for thousands of years, so it's culture on top of culture, all mixed in. You know, it's difficult at best to make a determination. Yeah, see down here, there's obsidian. Start making our way up. So I've come up a little bit, and you can get an idea of where this body of water would have been. You can see, I mean, it's unmistakable, really. So it would have gone in. There's a finger of it over there, a finger here, a finger here, as it moves in. So when I say body of water, it may not have necessarily been like a big lake. It might have been like a marsh or a wetland or something. But I do believe that's what this area was. Probably connecting at one point to one of the larger lakes. So there was an ancient lake culture tethered to this resource. You know, thousands of, here we go. Look at all this. There's a pile of fractured obsidian here where someone sat, and they sat right here on this point and worked on a tool, looking out here probably. So all of these points in the distance, the high points, are covered in lithic material. And as we move up, there's just more and more. Very interesting. I just picked up this piece. Looks like a shark's tooth almost, but there's been some work along the edges. I'm gonna go in for a close-up to get a better look at the detail of this. So you can see along the edges where it's been worked. Yeah, it's a pretty good edge. So as I'm getting closer to this point here, the ground is just covered, absolutely covered in lithic material. Camera's not going to pick it up because it's too dark right now, but just to give you an example, this is all lithic material from tool making, and it's covered, ground's covered. So right here on this point, I'm going to spend a few minutes and really search the ground here. Just at my feet, you'll notice there's lithic debris everywhere. I just pulled this out. This is a really nice base. You can see where the tip here fractured off. I'll go in for a close-up here. All right, I just pulled this up. You can see how it's been worked. And one wrong hit and the top fractured off here. So it's got a little work on both sides, so it's a biface. A little more on this side. But you can kind of get an idea of the size of this piece here. And they weren't hunting ducks with this thing. So, I mean, I'm presuming this to be a spear point. I could be wrong. But I go back thinking that if they're making large projectile points, you got to think about the type of animals they're hunting. So that also can give a good indication of a general time period of when this might have been occurring.
Interesting little creature right here. Got a bit of an attitude. Wow, he's jumping after you. Look at this. Wow. Whoa. All right, pal. Oh, might have a rough point here. Once again, we're going to go in for a close-up. All right, this side's been facing up, so it's polished. Let's have a look. Ooh. Some pretty heavy work on this one. That's a biface, all right. Wow, look at that piece. Identifiable? Anyone got any ideas? It's pretty cool. Check out that work.
Once again, this whole point is covered in debitage, lithic material. It's everywhere. So I'm finding the residuals of tool making, and even though I'm in all this material, like I said, finding something spectacular is exceedingly rare, because all those finished products aren't right here. They are out there, wherever that may be, traded. Probably find points hundreds of miles from here that originated in this spot. One other thing I just want to point out is that these big concentrations of lithic material, one thing that I do not come across at all in this area is pottery. No pot sherds at all. So it's also something to think about. Just found an interesting piece here. Some sort of tool.
Just came across this. Just picked this up. You can see how it's been worked to some type of tool. Really interesting.
So here's an obsidian nodule. I'm still on the fence of whether this is just here and this is why this place is so busy with the workshops, or if these nodules are being brought here. There's another obsidian nodule here. So these nodules would be fractured and then worked into tools, points, whatever. But like, I'm not sure if the nodules are just naturally occurring here or if they're being brought in from somewhere else. But they're pretty much everywhere, so maybe they are naturally occurring right here, which is why the spot's so special, for lack of a better word. All right, we're going to cross over and head back up on to another rise here. So this one was interesting. We found a couple artifacts amidst the lithic material here. Nothing spectacular, of course, but still some pretty cool stuff. I'm presuming that on top of the next rise we'll find more of the same, lots more lithic material. We'll see. But essentially what I'm walking in are trash piles. I mean, it's all the residuals of the processing. So yeah, that's kind of funky when you think about it like that, but that's really what it is trash piles. Whew, warming up, and I was starting to get slightly discouraged by not finding anything remotely interesting. It's just the trash, the lithic material, and I just came across this piece here. I already just pulled it up to have a look, and we're gonna pull it out here. Look at that. Wow. So it's been worked on both sides. It's a little thick, but check that out. Let's just go in for a close-up.
Okay, so I don't think this is a finished piece, but it's still impressive, well, to me anyway. It's sizable, it's not fractured,
I don't think it's fractured. And you can see how it's been worked on all the sides. How cool is that? It's a big piece. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I could probably end the day on this piece. That's pretty interesting. Well, that made the last 45 minutes of walking worth it. That was a cool, big piece. It's getting hot. We're approaching 90 degrees. So I think we're gonna be getting close to wrapping this up, and that was a perfect way to end, to end right there at a big old piece like that. Holy moly, I just came across another big piece. I just kind of picked this up off the ground. Wow. We're definitely doing a close-up of this one. Wow, that is a big piece there. So this side that's up, of course, has been polished by the wind and sand. Wow, you can see where it broke right there. I bet they're like, son of a... Man, look at that. Look at how big that is. And it's been worked on both sides. That is impressive. Look at the size of that. Wow. Wow. There's the edge. These are big pieces, which I don't know, leads me to believe that this is old stuff here. So here's that big piece I was just getting close up of, and then just beside it is another big piece. Yep, on the surface, you can see the polished side has been, well, the side that's facing up has been polished by the wind. Look at those pieces. How big they are. Wow, that's incredible. I'll just place that back. And I'm like making GPS points as to where these are. This is pretty cool. It's fascinating. Right on. That's my truck in the distance there. We've covered some ground today, and it's a time suck, searching all this. It's already early afternoon now, and we started over there and worked our way over these points, these higher points coming up from the bottom, and we found things everywhere. On top of course, all the lithic material, debitage, just piles of it everywhere. So there you have it. There were a lot of people here busy. They were being really busy. They were making lots of tools, projectile points, whatever. It's fascinating to think about. Yeah. So anyway, there's lots more content on the way. I've just got lots of questions in my head. Just, wow, I don't know what to make of it all, to be honest with you. It's really interesting. So whatever you think, hit up those comments. I'm always down to hear another person's perspective about all this. So there you have it. Lots more content on the way. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It is free. It helps the channel tremendously. Like I said, lots more content on the way. And folks, we'll see you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.